But before those sessions, let's start with a video clip. It's a trailer for Luc Jacquet film. The director will explain to us here on the stage this film. The film is entitled Once Upon a Forest.
Regarder naître, vivre et mourir les arbres.
I spent my life in forests, looking at the trees, and before it's too late, I'd like to share with you this wonderful trip, a trip of life that lasted a lifetime. The tropical forest, the trees, and their lives. In each seed, there is the promise of a giant. It will take centuries to reach the sky. Trees travel. Although they don't move, they even cross the oceans. They are seducers, and they can charm the clouds. Striving for light, they can bring down the largest of all. Luc Jacquet invites you on an incredible journey. 1 million years ago, we've been there, but we've forgotten that we were there. Once upon a time, a forest.
Voilà, le 13 novembre au cinéma.
Okay, so it will be on the 13th of November here, Luc Jacquet. He's not only a director, he's not only an artist, he's the founder of a foundation called Wild Touch. He's going to explain to you the approach of this foundation. They resort to emotion to raise awareness. I'm very proud to be here at the LHFORUM. I was there last year. It's always a pleasure. And I'm here to show you a film which is called Once Upon a Time, a Forest. Why this film? I was very lucky because I shot a film called The Marche de l'Empereur, a very successful movie. And after this film, I was asked by a lot of scientists. They came to see me and said, "Can you help me make a film on such and such topics?" So the scientists find it difficult to find someone or a system able to really convey a message to the public at large. And I felt that the power, the strength of emotion, it was a choice for this movie, La Marche de l'Empereur. This power was really efficient, according to the scientists. I am an ecologist, and I think that we can speak to people through emotions, through aestheticism, through the way we explain people. It's not we cannot make people guilty. We are all stemming from history, industrial, cultural history, and we should not make people guilty. On the contrary, we should try and trigger emotions. And the work, the investment I have made from that is how I, with my job, can I convert my know-how, my expertise into a positive energy. And that's how I set up this foundation, Wild Touch, in order to meet those demands. of scientists. They are experts. They understand the world. They understand the challenges of the planet. And I want to be a mediator, a speaker on behalf of those scientists. And I met Francis Allais. Francis Allais is a botanist, one of the first to understand that to study the forest, we had to climb the canopy. And he invented a system, a kind of net, and enabling him to walk on trees, on the canopies. He discovered species. He took scientists with them. They had wonderful experiences. And one day, Francis came to see me and said, "Luc, I spent 50 years working in primary forest. As I started my work as a botanist, I could not imagine that those forests could disappear one day because it was like an ocean. And now I see those forests shrinking. And in 10 years' time, there will be no longer any forest. So I'm talking about the wild forest, the primary forest, not changed by the action and activity of men. I know that in about 10 years' time, those forests will have disappeared. Can you help me make a film on these forests of the planet?" And of course, as a director, you are quite sensitive because trees tend to grow vertically, and the camera, on the contrary, tends to watch horizontally. Trees are mobile, okay, but 1 century per second, and we work 24 pictures per second, frames per second. And I wanted to take over this challenge. I didn't know these wild forests, the primary forest, primal forest, and we went to Guyana, and I discovered a world I didn't know. And Francis Allais, I saw something green. I have found this forest wonderful, wonderful, magnificent forest, and the fauna, but I didn't really understand what it was. And Francis Allais started to tell me stories. He said to me, "This tree is here only because it is in connection with that tree, and that tree is here because an ant brought a seed defended by another animal." And this man deciphered an amount of stories and relationships, and I understood the point of view of trees. It is rather destabilizing to think that trees have got a viewpoint, but you see the film at 7:00 p.m., Once Upon a Time, a Forest, but you see that trees are able to communicate together. They speak not with words, but with odors, and they are able to fight against each other. You've got parasites, you've got cooperation, you've got terrible fights among trees, and trees are able to invent extraordinary strategies to have animals come to them at the right time, at the right second, when trees need animals. And you see that trees are able to call rains, and Francis Allais is able to understand trees, so much so that I said to myself, there is some intelligence there, and it is disturbing to think that trees are intelligent from an epistemological point of view. It's not really admitted, and trees, apparently it's a heap of timber, no brain. So I said to myself that there might be a source of knowledge, potential, which is still forbidden, which is not open to us because we didn't understand that. But I said to myself, cinema is a wonderful opportunity to show what is not visible, and because if you go for a walk through the forest and you do not have this botanist helping you and explaining to you what happens, you are left aside. And the work I've been doing with the whole team of Wild Touch and Bonne Pioche, producing this film, was to bring people transgress time. The life of a tree is 700 years, and there's a factor of 10 versus the human beings. So I wanted to show people how trees live, move, and so on. And it's been extraordinary work done by the Foundation Wild Touch. This film should not just be some good time in front of a movie, but it should be a message as well. Of course, we all talk about deforestation. We have all those terrible pictures, but we should go back to basics. What is a forest? And we should accept being amazed and understand that it is something very, very complex. And we have just understood a tiny part of the mysteries. And with Wild Touch, we created a multimedia galaxy. It is, of course, absolutely essential to influence or to touch the children. Francis Allais is a wonderful mediator talking about forest at the foot of the tree, and it's on the website of Wild Touch. It is open source, and we created educational documentation as well to accompany this film to be attractive to young pupils, young people, and the students. We took with us artists, which is not common. So we had artists with us, sculptors, painters, illustrators, photographs. You saw the wonderful pictures and photographs of artists who came along with us when shooting the film. You see that on this main square here. It was a very fertile experience, and we wanted to work or to rely upon the networks, the different networks. So you'll see soon an experience called Once Upon a Time a Forest. The exploration will be on the web, open source. So the idea is to create a positive surprise, a positive awareness, because when you are in this wild forest, in this primeval forest, when you what can you do to save those forests if we will really change the world? So thank you very much for your attention.